Hi everyone, it's Eddie here at Eddie Makes Art, and I've gotten a lot of requests on how I made my little art journal here. And so I'm going to show you how I put it together. And if you haven't seen it before, it's a little art journal I made using a piece of, it was already kind of decorated watercolor paper. And then I added some other stuff later, but the innards are brayer off sheets from gel printing, and they're just glued in together into the book cover. And every so often I open it up, I find a page, and I just start decorating or, doing something. Like I had these strips of like a lightweight cardstock. I said, let me weave them up. And then I added some over here. The inside cover, this is a piece of gel print that I was practicing a stitch on. I said, let me glue that in there. That's cool. This is 2 gel prints put together, and then over it, I glued the embossed leaf. And through the book, I will leave blank pages, and then just other colored pages. This is washi sticker on here, I believe. Is this washi sticker? Yeah, that's washi sticker there. Washi paper. Washi tape, I should say. And then this one, it's been very humid here the last few days, so everything around me that has acrylic paint on it, it's sticking to itself. So, but anyway, I put this was the page. This was the original page. This here, it's a brayer off. I then added this ripped up tissue gel print on either side, and then just folded the extra bits on the other side. And then this piece of it's a tissue from making clothes. I can't think of the word right now, but anyway, that was stamped on with acrylic paint. Just cut it out and glued that in for a little fun. So these are it's quick, little easy things you can do in here. If you have an idea, maybe practice it in here first before you go big with it. So you see there's a lot of just all sorts of different things going on. And you can certainly, if you're not into what's on that page, get some gesso, cover it up, or just collage over it. But you're using your brayer offs, and you're not wasting paper. I don't know, it'll give you inspiration too. So anyway, and this has a closure. I just made it with a ribbon or some sari ribbon, and then an eyelet punched in that. And it just, kind of sort of just ties. Something like that, right? And then I put a little piece of sari in here that is supposed to stay in, but it's sort of like a page holder. So the construction of the book it's not tricky, but you have to keep it. This is a bit that it took me a while to learn how to do, but essentially you want to leave about 1 centimeter. See this right here? It's about 1 centimeter wide extra bit that you don't glue down. Okay. That way your book will sit flat. It's much easier to work in a book when it's flat. And so everywhere you go, any page, it's going to be flat. So that I'm going to show you how to do that. And yeah, and then we can put all the pages together and glue it up and maybe, and then decorate the cover. All right, so let's get started. So You need a bunch of gel prints, brayer off sheets if you want. I mean, if you only have blank paper, go for it. If you have other paper you want to use, go for it. These I've already cut up. This was from doing this one. So I've got a few more I can cut up and put into the new book. You want about a 3/4 inch thick block of pages to fill this in, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it is. And like I said, it's a great way to use up those painty papers that you haven't really been paying attention to or don't know what to do with. All right, so I took a piece of cardstock, plain white cardstock. This is my front cover, this is my back cover. Now, let's go on the inside. So for measurements, this is a 9 1/4 inch wide cut. So from here to here, 9 1/4 inches. And then for height, 5 1/2 inches up and down. Easy so far, right? Okay. Now, so when you get to, when you've cut it out, you're gonna want to measure 3 3/4 inches, 4 1/8 inches, and then 4 7/8. You're gonna want to score at those points. So you're gonna have a 1 centimeter wide strip here, and then this is 3/4 of an inches. 3/4 of an inch. Let's see here. Yeah. So that's roughly 3/4 of an inch in there. And so you asking, why did you make 2 spines? Well, this is the spine. This is the bit that I showed you on the original book that you don't glue down anything. You don't glue anything onto. It's like a floating spine, and that allows the book to lay flat. But in order to achieve that, you need an extra piece of card. So just grab some cardstock I had in my little bag of bits, and you want to cut it to where it gets to the 4 1/8 inch score line. Now, this is again 5 1/2 inches tall, and this is about 4 1/8 wide. So it's made to fit in here. Now I may have to trim it later, but we're gonna wait for that. And so essentially what you want to do, let's say you've got your block of pages here. Get one that's a little, this one's not cut right to size. Okay, so we've got our page here. See, humidity, everything is sticking. That's why I may not use some of these because they're kind of gross, but whatever. All right, so what you want to do is you want to take, so let's say I want to cover this up, right? I'm going to fold this in the other way. You're going to want to glue the card, this extra bit, to the very first page. So you're going to glue that there. This gets glued into here, into the front cover. However, you don't want to glue that last 1/4 inch down, okay? So you're only gonna apply glue from here over, put down your card, and then you attach the first page to that card. And then that will allow, once you get your book together, it will allow your book, when open, to stay flat on the surface. It's much easier to work in. All right, so I hope you got that. You can screenshot it too to get all your measurements. Pause the video, take a screenshot, save it. And I did mark the front and back covers so to remind me that this 1/4 inch strip needs to be at the front cover and not the back cover. First one I made that mistake. I reversed everything and it was just a big old mess. So that's what you want to do as far as constructing the cover. And then what I want to do is I cut a piece of extra white cardstock, and I think it's about 2 3/4 inches, about 2 3/4 inches long, and what's that, about an inch, almost 1 3/4 inches tall. I'm more worried about the length. So what I was hoping to do is to create a magnetic closure. Take this out for a second, where this part is glued in here, and then once I get all the pages in, obviously I can fold it over and then create that magnet. There's going to be a magnet here and then a magnet here. So when we do the cover, we need to be sure that it's nothing too heavy, and the magnet is going to sit right there so that it matches with the magnet there. And then we'll score this appropriately, and then we can have a nice magnetic closure. And I'm definitely going to cover this with something, with the gel print or something. And I think I'm going to do the same with the cover, and I may just use a tissue print for the cover, so I don't bulk it up too much. And I have a lot of tissue prints, so that's another reason. And then, yeah, so that'll be my closure. I got my magnets. I think that's it. So I'm gonna quickly, I'm gonna cut some of this up, these pages, and then find a piece of tissue to go over this, and then something to cover this, and then we can get started on, once that's all dry, putting in the gluing the pages together. So after cutting the paper and then folding it in half, I've chosen a selection that I want to put together. So it's about this much. Now, I'm kind of guesstimating, and I will continue to measure with the spine as I glue. So right now, it would be like this. This might be too many. However, I am going to start with the back, work my way to the front, and as I go, I will measure according to the spine there. So let me start with the back. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to use some of this Scotch Permanent Glue Stick. Use whatever you got. And so if this is our back cover, all right, this will be, let me open this, open, attached to the back cover. And then so our next page should go here. If I am doing that correctly, yes. So this one would go here, right? I'm just gonna make sure that I set this up right for myself. All right, how are we doing this? So if that's gonna be the back, and this one, yeah, okay. So essentially you just want to glue all around, some in the middle. You don't need a ton. All right, now just Make sure you get your edges though. All right, so I'm gonna take this and do my best. Now, my cutter is not the best, so these are a little off of each other as far as the height. So I'm basically gonna go and kind of just center everything as best I can. And I think that that will help. All right, so once you get it glued down, tamp it all down, flatten it out, because that's also going to determine how many pages you're going to be able to fit in. So, but this is how it looks once you open the pages. Easy peasy. Let's do another one. And for this one, I have decided not to leave any blank pages or insert blank pages because I liked all the prints and I wanted to use them all. But also, I have a couple of prints that are just black and white. So these are kind of like my blank pages for this book. All right, so there goes another one. There goes another one. And so you kind of get the idea, right? We are gluing along the edges first. Make sure you get those. And then you're going to, the spine. Make sure you get that good glue coverage on the spine because that's importante. Muy importante. And I like this glue because it gives you a couple of extra seconds to manipulate what you're working on. So there we go. And so I'm just going to keep doing this, and then once I'm done, I'll come back and we can continue. All right, so I have enough pages now in my block here to fill in the book. And what I've done here is I've gone through and made sure none of the pages are sticking and kind of fanned it out as best I could. And then I'm going to let it kind of air dry like this so that way there aren't any issues when you're going to use the book later and you start flipping and things are stuck and rip. So let me set this to the side. Okay, so for my next trick, let's do the cover decoration. So the inside I don't have to worry about because that's going to be the pages part of the book. The pages of the book will be the inside covers. So I'm going to worry about that later. So for now, we're going to collage these prints on the front. And these are rice paper. And then this is Carnival wet strength tissue, but it's all pretty much similar thickness. So it'll work well. And then I have to think about the magnet, where I'm going to place it. And I pretty much just want to place it right in the center. So I'm going to glue it down first so that I don't forget it. Because I am known to forget to put it in the closure or the magnet, and then I have to go through and it's just a pain in the butt. So 5.5 inches. So we're gonna say 2 3/4. All right. Let's put it right there. I just use my fingernail there to just make a little indentation. And for me magnets, I have these little flat ones that I got on Amazon. And take the first two, put that away, very strong. And you see how they stick together? So what I want is for the one on this side of the closure to stick with this, all right? So I'm gonna glue this here, and then this part will be glued there. Or rather, this magnet will be glued here, okay? So I have to glue it that way. The way it's sitting now, it's gonna stay glued that way. Same for this one. Okie dokie. You can also mark them if you think you're gonna forget. You know, mark them with like a Sharpie or something. I'm just using plain old glitter glue to hold this down. And definitely wait for this to dry before you try and attach the other one, like, you know, make them stick, because they'll pull right off. So for this one, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of approximate my center here. What I can do actually is line this up. And wait, what did I do? I forgot which side. Okay. All right. See, it moved. Don't make the mistake I did. All right, you stay there. You go here. All right. So that has to dry. Let me put this away because I'm gonna use just a matte acrylic medium to collage these onto here. So while this magnet dries on the right, I'm gonna go ahead and get started on the back. So I think for the back, I wanna use this bit. You know, it's not gonna cover it in height. So maybe I could use some of this at the bottom. Let's try that. So what if we did, I'm just gonna overlap a little bit on the spine, just not too much. Maybe that there, and then this piece here. I think that's good, yeah. Let me get these out of the way so I don't get them all sticky. So this medium is the Blick Acrylic gel medium, and it is acrylic, and it's kind of a matte finish. It's got a little bit of gloss, but it's more of a matte. And just be aware, it does dry quickly, so you have to work quickly. Some people will dilute it with just a little bit of water to help it stay, you know, active a little bit longer. But just know it does dry quickly. But if you're working in a small space like this, you should be all right. So let me do this part here. And I didn't go low enough. Okay, I'm gonna try this again. Didn't go low enough. Oh, that should be fine. I might have to put a little bit more under there because I missed it. And definitely go over it with your medium so it's all nice and cohesive. I'm just gonna put a little bit of glue there. See, yeah. And if you do pull it up, you gotta go ahead and add some more. No worries. It's all good. Over here, I think I might need a little bit more. Yeah. Just get it all ooey gluey. no problems. Just go over it nicely with the medium. Don't rip on me. Okay. All right, so for this side, let me see if this is dry yet. That is dry enough for us to work on. And I'm just going to, you know what? I'm going to wipe this off because I don't want the inside getting stuck. So I definitely want this piece on the front. And then I think a strip of this will go over the center. That's the plan, Stan. This is a good rainy day sort of activity because it takes a little time, you know, because you got to let things dry and you got to, you know, stack all your pages and glue them down. But, you know, put a movie on, some music, have at it. Go. Do my best to smooth it out with the brush because I am also known for ripping my paper because I scrape over it too much. See, and this dries so fast. Plus I got the heat on today, or I had it on because it got really cold overnight. It's been like really nice. I've had my windows open, but I put the heat on this morning because it was chilly. But it's, you know, but it's dry in here, which is good. Things are drying fast, but this medium dries super fast. All right, so I think we're good. I'm just gonna let this chill out. Let me see, I have a couple of bumps here. Let me see if I can smooth them out with this thing. It is what it is. I'll come back later with a little pin and kind of prick the bubbles and then smooth them out. They'll be fine. And then we're gonna get a strip of this down the middle. So I'm just gonna tear it by hand. So I like that torn edge. Just that. That's where I want it there. Come on. I'm just trying to make sure I rip it the same way on both sides so I get white showing on the both sides. You can go ahead and ink those or whatever, color them. I don't mind them. Don't mind them at all. So obviously once this is all dry, I'll come in and just trim off all the excess so that we don't have any issues. And then, you know, kind of work it back into the book shape because obviously I'm going to let it dry flat. All right, looks like we had a nice amount of glue there. All right, that's going to dry. Get some extra stuff off. And that is our book cover. And I see here already, it's not wanting to play nice. So I gotta get in here with some of this, do a little missionary work. Just doesn't want to stick. So I'm going to let this dry, and then I'll come back and we'll finish putting it together. All right, so it is all done. And I'm sorry I had to film that last bit with no sound, but you got the point. So we did our cover, we attached that extra card to the front here and made sure that that part was not glued down so that our book could move freely. Let's make sure that's good. Sometimes you gotta, manipulate it a little bit, but the pages turned out great. Definitely spreading them out and letting them dry overnight was a plus, because they are definitely not sticking. They might sound a little sticky, but they're good. And then we come to the last page, and this is where we attach the closure. Now, here's the problem. I don't know what I did wrong. I flipped it, or I don't know what, for the magnet. It wasn't connecting. It was connecting underneath. So I flipped the closure over. I left this magnet on, and then I attached this one here. So these two magnets are connected. And then this magnet will connect with that. So there you have it. Your own little art journal. I hope you enjoy this. And the only thing I regret doing is this, because you still see the tissue, but I don't know. I think I'm going to find a way to kind of try and disappear that. So if I do that, I will update you in the post section of my channel. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoy this. I hope you make your own, and let me know if you do. Talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.